Hey everyone, and welcome to What Did I Miss?, where today I'll be breaking down the 7th episode of the 2nd season of Star Trek Picard, titled Monsters, and looking for all the Easter eggs and references that you may have missed. After a couple of action-packed episodes, this entry was more of a character piece that delved into the past and psyche of Jean-Luc Picard. The episode did end on a cliffhanger with a new character that may have already been introduced in a prior Trek series, and I will go over that and more here. But first, thank you for clicking on this video, and if you do enjoy it, please remember to hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so that YouTube lets you know when my videos come out. The episode begins with Picard on an unnamed space vessel, presumably Starfleet, speaking with a Starfleet officer who is acting like a ship's counselor during a routine psych evaluation. The ship's counselor position was introduced on Star Trek The Next Generation, with Deanna Troi holding the position for all 7 seasons of the series. But since Counselor Troi, we have had many other characters appear who have filled this role, such as Ezri Dax on DS9, Hugh Culber on Discovery, and Dr. McLeemo on Lower Decks. This doctor is played by actor James Callis, who is best known as another sci-fi doctor, Dr. Gaius Baltar, from the series Battlestar Galactica that ran from 2004 through 2007. The character itself has another Trek connection, as Dr. Gaius Baltar is a reimagined version of Count Baltar from the original Battlestar Galactica series from 1978. That character was played by actor John Colicos, who is perhaps best known as playing the Klingon Commander Kor on the original series. It seems that when Picard has a problem, he likes to face off against an opponent who is close to him within his subconscious. As in the first season, we saw that Picard had a reoccurring dream in which he played cards against Data as a way of dealing with his feelings about the current state of his life. Picard then slips into a fantastical memory that includes his mother, who is painting on the windows with a young Jean-Luc while acting as a queen in a story. It is never fully expressed, but it may be that his mother Yvette suffers from a mental disease such as bipolar disorder. People who suffer from this can experience amazing creative accomplishment as well as moments of mania and depression that can be debilitating. The relationship between creativity and mania, which is often referred to as being touched by fire, was tested in a study in 1992 that found that 8.2% of artists have a history of mania compared to 2.8% of non-artists. The fact that Picard is holding a recreation of a fiery sun in his hands while telling a story about his mother may be an allusion to the touched by fire sentiment. Talon is working to enter Picard's mind and to get him to wake up. She uses a device with a pointed ear, which at first I thought may be an indication that the device is Vulcan. Since in the prior episode, Talon did mention that what she would be doing would be similar to a Vulcan mind meld, but we learn that this pointed ear is merely foreshadowing her reveal later in the episode. When Talon enters Picard's mind, her eyes roll over white, in the same way we saw the people that she controlled look a couple episodes ago when her character was first introduced. Because she's in the room with Rios, played by actor Santiago Cabrera, it reminded me of the character he was probably best known for playing before Rios, the heroin addict slash fortune teller Isaac on the show Heroes, whose power manifested in the same way. Within Picard's mind, the Doctor mentions that sometimes people are so hard to analyze that even Betazoids can't get a read. This is of course a reference to Picard's trusted counselor, Deanna Troi, who is only half Betazoid and half human. This is why she's an empath, or someone able to feel others' emotional responses, and not a telepath, which most Betazoids are. When Talon is able to enter Picard's mind dungeon, she hears things from Picard's past. I could make out his introduction as Locutus of Borg, which took place in the Next Generation episode Best of Both Worlds after he was partially assimilated. Coincidentally, the episode that followed that was titled Family, and it showed how Picard dealt with his trauma by returning home. I could also make out the line, "You are dangerous, they are only victims." This line is from the Next Generation episode The Hunted that included a genetically altered humanoid character named Roga Danar. It makes sense why Picard would hold on to his trauma with the Borg, but I'm not sure why he would have been affected by his encounter with this character in the show's 3rd season. It is possible, though, that since Roga Danar was genetically altered, that this is alluding to the eugenics plotline that has been building this season on Picard with Adam and Corey Soon. I think I also made out the line, "I would rather die as the man I was than live the life I just saw." This line is from the Next Generation episode Tapestry, which also included Q showing Picard what his life would have been like if he had not taken any chances. Back at the clinic, Rios welcomes back Dr. Ramirez and her son Ricardo, but won't let them see Picard at first. When they enter, Ricardo is playing with an OV-165 shuttle, which Rene Picard described in detail to Jean-Luc last episode, and was also featured in the intro to the series Star Trek Enterprise. Rios finally lets her help Picard after getting a neural oscillator from Rafi on the ship. When she asks him if he is from space, he responds that he is from Chile and that he just works in space, which is very similar to this line from Star Trek The Voyage Home.
You're from outer space.
No, I'm from Iowa. I only work in outer space.
After Talon is able to find Picard, they end up face to face with the ship's doctor from his vision, who turns out to really be his father Maurice. We have seen Picard's father one other time during a vision in the aforementioned episode Tapestry, but that vision would seem to contradict his father's appearance here, as this version of his father even remarks that while Jean-Luc got to live longer than he did, he got to keep his hair. However, in the prior vision we saw of the character in the episode Tapestry, he is balding. After revealing himself to Dr. Ramirez, Rios draws a picture of his ship De La Serena on the wall at her clinic. He then decides to take them both to his ship, completely disregarding the butterfly talk he received from Agnes before leaving. This is also very similar to what happened to Dr. Gillian Taylor after she helped Kirk and Spock in the movie The Voyage Home. I feel like at this point Rios is going to have to take the Doctor and her son with him back to the future, or else there is no way they do not contaminate the timeline. But since she is helping the community, I doubt she will want to leave. Seven and Rios are looking for Agnes, having learned that she has been using Borg encryption codes, and trace her to a bar named Deacons. The singer of the band that is playing is Sunny Ozell, who is also the wife of Sir Patrick Stewart. Agnes breaks the glass window, which releases endorphins within her body. It was established last episode that by releasing endorphins, the Borg Queen is able to keep control of Agnes. Back at the clinic, while discussing what they have been through, Picard states that they have just made a quantum leap in regard to personal boundaries. This could be a reference to the sci-fi series Quantum Leap, in which the main character went back in time and inhabited the bodies of various people. The star of that show was of course Scott Bakula, who also played Captain Jonathan Archer on the series Star Trek Enterprise. Talon then reveals that she is actually Romulan, and Picard surmises that she must be an ancestor of Laris. Romulans do live longer than humans, so I think that given the 400 plus years between the two characters, and the fact that we don't know how old Talon or Laris are when we meet them, they could be separated by 3 or 4 generations. Picard deduces that Q wanted him to relive all this and move past it so that Picard can better understand himself, but that this must also have some connection to Q, so they go to Guinan to help summon him. She explains that her people, the El-Alarians, and the Q struck a truce over a bottle of wine because food and drink are what bonds the universe. I thought that this was pretty smart, as it also ties Picard's family heritage as winemakers into the importance of the story. They then try to summon a Q, but no one shows up. This may be because Q's powers are lessening. As we saw earlier in the season, he was not able to affect anything after one of his trademark snaps. Moments after this, a man walks into Guinan's bar, who at first just appears to be annoying, but turns out to be a member of the FBI. He shows them footage of Picard beaming into the alleyway behind the bar and takes them away. The actor who plays this character is Jay Carnes, who I know as Dutch from The Shield, an underrated series in my opinion, but he also played a character named Duquesne in an episode of Star Trek Voyager named Relativity. That episode is also the first time we saw Seven without Borg implants and in a Starfleet uniform, as she was helping Starfleet in the 29th century stop someone from destroying Voyager in the past. Since the character Duquesne was involved in time travel, it is possible that this is the same character. But this season of Picard has also shown us various characters who are ancestors of other characters that look very much like them, such as Talon in this episode, but also the various members of the Soong family. So I think that it is more likely that, like Talon's relationship with Laris, that this character is an ancestor of Duquesne and not the same character. But the fact that he did have footage of the exact moment Picard beamed in does make it kind of seem like he has advanced technology for this time period, and he arrested them without charging them with anything. The cast of Picard have been making a lot of noise since they arrived in this time period, so I wouldn't be surprised if these acts caught the attention of someone else watching the timeline, such as Starfleet in the future. Well, that is all I have for this week, but let me know in the comments if I missed anything. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please hit that like button if you have enjoyed it, and I will see you next time on What Did I Miss?